Phil Gurski worked as a strategic analyst in the Canadian intelligence community for over 30 years. He is now president and CEO of Borealis Threat and Risk Consulting, and I spoke to him via Skype from Ontario and asked him about the effect of the fighting on civilians in Fallujah.
There are thousands of civilians trapped inside, and since Islamic State has been there for quite some time, do we have any idea as to how many booby traps, how many IEDs, what kind of material is there? This isn't going to be an easy campaign by any stretch of the imagination.
The current Iraqi government remains shaky at best. What happens after the government retakes Fallujah?
I don't want to sound pessimistic, but as you mentioned, the Iraqi government has been not very successful on a number of fronts for quite some time now. So whether or not Fallujah is taken early or eventually, I can't see this having a major impact on the Iraqi government's ability to govern and on their ability to get things moving forward. It hasn't shown many signs of doing so to date. I don't see how any victory in Fallujah will make any difference, to be honest.
What does the government need to do then to hold and govern that area and keep other extremist groups out? And what happens if the government collapses?
There have been so many ethnic and sectarian divisions within Iraq for such a long time now. It's almost like you have to just take it right back to square one and come up with some kind of mechanism whereby the governing authorities recognize the rights and the values of the people that constitute Iraq. This is not going to be an easy thing to do because, as I said, since the American invasion in 2003, there's been very little success in drawing together some sense as to what Iraq means in 2016. So, again, you go back to first principles and try to come up with some way of getting all the different constituent parts of Iraq to work together. And the government has to allow that to happen.
Let's talk about the people who are in Fallujah. We mentioned all these civilians that are inside and the ability that ISIL has had to attract sympathizers within some of these groups. What's your take? As
much as we see Islamic State as a very small but successful terrorist group, the fact remains is that they have drawn people to their side. We've seen Canadians, we've seen Americans, we've seen Western Europeans, and the reasons for that will differ from individual to individual. But some of the, attractions that I've detected in a book that's upcoming this fall on Western foreign fighters is this notion that they do claim to be representing a certain aspect of the Muslim population. They have created a caliphate, whether it's true or not, whether it's recognized or not. It is facts on the ground, and for some people, that's a very, very attractive option to go and fight, to go and support them.
That being said, bombings continue in Baghdad, just 60 kilometers away. What does that say about ISIL's network? They're tied up fighting in Fallujah and outside of Mosul, but they are still able to move operators around freely to attack Baghdad. Let's look at what's happening there.
Well, it certainly speaks to, I think, the numbers of supporters that the group has and their ability to move rather freely.
If you like what you just saw, follow us on social media and visit our website, CCTV-America.com.